What up, what up, what up, world? What up, what up, church? What up, God's people? What up, God's people? Shout out to Yaya Anderson. Hey, I'm Tangie.
And I'm Tiffany.
And it's time to ask God. So what up, world?
What up, church?
What up, God's people? So, of course, y'all have heard about that whole Ferguson uproar over the course of time. I mean, over the last, 3-4 months, it's just been crazy around the nation, including Atlanta, Georgia, where we are.
Yes.
And we just want to take a moment to speak on it. Because from our perspective and from what we've seen, the question is hanging in the balance. What up, world? What up, church? What up, God's people? Like, what is going on? We got to think beyond what we already know. Yes. You know, the old way of doing things don't always work. And our certain mentality against somebody don't always work. We can't continue to be against each other. And no matter what the situation is, how can you work together to solve an issue or become a better person if you're pointing the finger and you're looking at and somebody else saying what you're doing this, and you're against that person? But how can you also be a better people if you're against yourselves?
Yeah, that's a good question. But, you know, I don't want to go on without giving props to the people who are protesting, though, because so far it's been a peaceful protest. Nobody has really pointed out the fact that there's some people out there that's, setting a few fires and doing, some looting here and there. But for the most part, especially here in Atlanta, Georgia, it has been a peaceful protest. And I think that demonstrates that even with people who they have deemed unruly, people who are, they're afraid of, and people who they say, maybe they deserve what this Mike Brown has gotten. They're peacefully protesting. They're showing, yes, we are civilized and we are part of this civilization, and we want more and we want better.
I agree with you, but I also have my own thoughts in terms of protesting that some people may not agree with. Mm-hmm. I honestly, without a shadow of a doubt, believe that we can do more. And we can think beyond a protest and do something different. Something that this nation and this world has never seen before in the body of believers, as well as in the body of people who are willing to stand for something that's right. We cannot wait or continue to wait until something bad happens to stand on our feet and come together. We have to come together during times of voting. We have to come together to learn and educate ourselves about laws, because in the end, when you're one saying against another, you say this and they say that, they're going to look at the law. Yep. But if we don't know the law and we've never educated ourselves, and I'm guilty of it, so I'm not just talking to people, I'm talking to myself too, then how can I ever say anything about it when it becomes a matter of life and death and a matter of what the law says? If you know what it says and you know that you don't agree with it, because certain situations such as the Ferguson situation can happen and nothing is done about it, you have to address it when it becomes a law.
That's true. So what can we do? What can we as a people, as a village, do to come together so that these things where, unfortunately, Mike Brown, he was profiled. He was profiled to be a hoodlum, if you want to say. And so what can we do to change the aura of our people?
Yes. Yes, we cannot continue to just point the finger and not look at ourselves. That is not to say that this young man should have been killed for what he did. So please do not misunderstand that. No, I totally disagree with the whole idea that he lost his life, but I do agree that there are certain things that profile us, stigmatize us, and stereotype us. Exactly. We do the same thing. We put people in a box because of what we've seen over time. And so we try to react to that, rather than responding and reaching out and trying to do something different to teach, educate, and seek and think better. Because it's funny about stigmas and stereotypes. We can accept them amongst our people, but we don't want other people to look at us like that.
We can't expect people to treat us better if we're not treating ourselves better. If we're not upholding better for ourselves.
What does that
for
look
better
like,
for
though,
ourselves.
when we treat ourselves better? What does that look like? You know, I went, we witnessed today, we met a young man, and we share, you know, a commonality, which is the ministry. And this man, before he left, he spoke into the lives of the little boy, the 11-year-old that was with us. And he gave him something and gave him some affirmations. You don't see that very often. Mm-mm. You don't see that very often amongst our people. And when I say our people, I mean black folks. Mm-hmm. And when you talk about doing things in a different way, holding ourselves accountable to be the village for other people, and not being afraid, not shaking our head, that shaking head syndrome, not saying it's not our problem, and not acting like we're at a loss. Find something to do, even if it's a matter of a few minutes of a word, to encourage somebody and let them know, live above the standards.
Yes, because, you know, me, and from what I have experienced in my life, when I encounter a situation of someone who's being unruly or saying something that I happen to hear that was kind of like, why would you say that? I believe that I've been placed in that situation for a reason. Because God knows that I'm, as a villager, I'm going to say something. I'm going to let that person know in love, you know, this is not the things that should come out of your mouth. Beautiful things should come out of your mouth. You know, you're better than this. And if you expect people to want to think of you better, you have to portray a better person, you know.
And feel better and be confident in yourself. You know, you're not the minuscule curse word that may come out of your mouth.
So, you know, in saying all of this, what can we do?
What up, world?
What up, world? Where do we begin to make a better end?
Where do we begin to make a better end?
Ooh,
where do we begin to do something different, to turn it around and make it, you know, ultimately, when we're talking about the word of God, the enemy means things for bad, but God can ultimately turn those things out for good, even in the midst of these circumstances. And so if you want to be a part of that caravan, you want to be a part of that turning around things for good, think about how you can be a benefit in your community, around young people, whoever, that even if you just see somebody, just, you know, they ain't acting right, don't shake your head. Don't turn away. You may want to just say something that could be encouraging and life-changing for them. Because after all, a matter of a moment can mean life or death for somebody.
And you have to remember, and you have to fully understand that it is your responsibility. It is all of our responsibility to make this world a better place. But we have to do this.
All right, y'all. I'm Tangy.
And I'm Tiffany. Let's get this thing called life together.